Good morning, Seawolves, and welcome to the latest edition of Nerwsbreak from the School of Journalism. I'm Anthony DeCoco, and I'll be your anchor for the day. President Biden and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping have agreed to restore military communication after a face-to-face meeting on the sidelines of the APEC summit on Wednesday. At the press outside of San Francisco, President Biden mentioned China's agreement to reduce the flow of fentanyl, a leading cause of drug overdoses in the United States, from China to the U.S.
I think it's paramount that you and I understand each other clearly, leader to leader, with no misconceptions or miscommunication.
The two most powerful leaders affirmed the need to address the risk of advanced AI systems and the importance of working together to accelerate efforts to tackle the climate crisis in this critical decade.
It is unrealistic for one side to remodel the other, and conflict and confrontation has unbearable consequences for both sides.
While the United States is managing two wars in Europe and the Middle East, Biden encouraged Xi Jinping to use his influence to stop Iran and its proxies from escalating tensions in the Israel and Hamas war. The Israeli Defense Forces says that its Air Force has conducted a strike on the home of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh. Israel claims that the house is used as a meeting point for Hamas.
I'm here in Gaza City. We are here next to a house of a terrorist. This is one of the senior terrorists who is the head of the operational naval operations that led the raids into Israel. His house is right next to a school. His house is 200 yards from the hospital of Rantisi.
Israeli forces remain inside Al-Shifa Hospital, Gaza's main and largest hospital, after performing what they call a targeted raid for the second time in 24 hours. They found what they say are Hamas terrorist weapons, including some AK-47s. The IDF has released their video of weapons they discovered in hidden places, including behind medical equipment and MRI machines. The Hamas-run health ministry released another video showing smoke pouring inside intensive care units and doctors pushing patients on stretchers to a safe place. An Israel Unity Walk is being held today. Our reporter Lane Groom is reporting live from the scene to tell us more about it.
Hi. I'm Lane Groom, reporting live from the steps of the Stoller Center, where SBU Hallel is currently hosting a walk to show solidarity with Israel. Behind me, there are 240 empty seats to represent the 240 hostages that were taken during the terrorist attack on October 7th. The walk started over in the Student Union and is ending here in the courtyard, where there's going to be group prayer to remember the lives lost and to support the people that are held hostage right now. What's your name?
It's Idan Yaakov. I live in Stony Brook.
So you're just a member of the Stony Brook community?
Yes, yeah.
And what brings you out here today?
Well, many things. One, I was personally affected by the Hamas massacre on October 7th. Some family friends of ours were killed. And I've been watching so many Jews around the world feel like they've been abandoned by people that they thought they were their friends, feel like the institutions and the belief systems that they really believed in had suddenly turned their back on them. And I want to be here to show Jewish students at Stony Brook and everywhere that they're not alone. They have a family that loves them. And yeah.
So you kind of like the sense of community? It's kind of like building?
Yes. And I mean, I'm obviously Jewish. One of the key parts of our faith is being together. There are certain prayers that can only be said in a quorum of 10, and included among those are the mourner's prayer, that is a way of saying goodbye to people who have been taken from us. It is almost forbidden to suffer alone, and in that we grow stronger.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm Lane Groom. Back to you.
The House Ethics Committee finally released its nearly 9-month investigation report on Representative George Santos of New York on Thursday. The report concluded the presence of substantial evidence that the congressman used campaign funds for his personal expenses and knowingly filed false and incomplete reports with the Federal Election Commission, violating federal law. The committee has reported its findings to the Justice Department, setting the stage for another push to expel the New York Republican from Congress. SuperX's Super Heavy Starship rocket is set to launch for the second time on Friday after federal regulators' approval for the Starship. The Federal Aviation Administration finally granted SpaceX, the most powerful rocket ever built, the launch license 7 months after the explosive first attempt. Standing at 397 feet tall and 30 feet wide, the Super Heavy Starship weighs more than 11 million pounds when fueled. The goal for the test flight is to send the rocket into a looping trajectory around the planet before eventually coming down in the Pacific Ocean. If it succeeds, the Super Heavy Starship would mark a milestone for SpaceX and NASA. Billions will be spent on a variant of the Starship upper stage to carry Artemis astronauts from lunar orbit to the surface of the moon. Multiple test flights are needed to showcase the rocket's reliability required for astronaut flights. It's still not clear on how long it will take. Stony Brook University's undergraduate student government, Senate, and Executive Council have proposed an increase of the undergraduate student activity fee from $99.50 to $106.50 per semester. The undergraduate student activity fees have been used to support over 160 clubs as well as campus events such as Roth Regatta, Wolfieland, and Brookfest. Devin Labasco, president of the USG, stated in an email sent to all students Thursday morning that the increase has been proposed due to inflation and increases in minimum wage. Labasco has claimed that the benefits of the $7 increase will be far-reaching. The USG has currently provided a town hall forum on November 21st via Zoom for students to communicate with officials about the change. The proposed increase will be voted on in an election open to all undergraduate students on SB Engage from November 27th to December 1st. Thanks for tuning in to today's news break. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a happy Thanksgiving.